Good evening, students. Welcome to the part 5 of our HTML5 class. So, in our last session, we have seen how we can create links in HTML, what is cascading style sheets, and how we can use those properties. And then we have applied some of the properties on our links. There were like 4 properties that we have applied on that, and then we have seen how we can make a link as a button. That means rather to use HTML control button, we can create the link as a button as well with the help of CSS. And then we have seen how we can display the images as links. So in the links we have seen with the help of anchor tag, there is an attribute href. Inside that we provide the URL for whatever the link we want to create. Let's say I want to create a clip. So this is how it will create a link on our web page. In the href, we can provide either the URL of some other web page that is on another website, or we can provide the URL of our website page, or we can provide some URL to our content on the same web page. So there are basically 3 kinds of links. First is internal, that is if it is on the same page. Second is local, that is to your website. And third one is global, that is if you are creating some link that is outside your website. Then we have seen cascading style sheet. That means how we can decorate or design our elements, how we can make them intuitive or some kind of looking better on our HTML pages. Because HTML is about the content, while the CSS is about your presentation, how you present your data. Then we have seen how we can create, apply the CSS on the link. So there are basically we have seen 4 stages. First one is link. Second one is visited. Third one is hover or hover you can say, and the fourth one was active. So these were the 4 stages. In the link we have seen it will we can set some properties if the link has not been clicked yet. So this property will be used for that. If the link has been visited, that means you have clicked on that. So then we will use this particular property. Sorry. Then we have this hover. So whenever you will take your cursor to the link, so then we want to apply some properties. Then we will use this property, and at last the active one, which will show that the link which is being clicked or something. So these 4 properties we have seen, and these kind of treated as stages. So these 4 properties must be defined in this order. That means first we will define the link, then we will define visited, then we will define hover, and at last we will define active. Then we have seen the link as button. We have set some properties by which we made the button look like a link look like a button, like something. This is link, and then you can click or something. So that we have set with the help of CSS, and then we have seen how we can create the images as links. So we have first we have defined our link like this, and over here rather to define a text we have defined our image. And to define image, we know that first we write image tag, then in a SRC we provide the URL of the image, and then simply close. So this is what we have learned yesterday, and let's move on to our today's topic. So today we are going to learn audio and video. That means how we can add audio on our web pages and how we can add videos on our web pages. Then we are going to see what are the frames. So this is something interesting topic. So let's begin with our today's session. So audio is nothing but one. Just a moment. So audio can be easily added on your web page, or a video can easily be added on a web page. So when we are going to insert an audio, so there is a tag that is audio, which we use to insert an audio, and the audio format that are allowed are mp3.ogg.wave. So these are the common you can say audio formats that are generally used whenever we are adding an audio on our web page. So let's see one example first, then we will talk about its attributes. So So the same thing, like whenever we are defining an audio, so this one is your tag. Inside that you have to define the source for your audio file. So over here we are using two types of file, that is audio slash OGG and MPEG format. So that is why there are two sources. One is for OGG and second one is for MPEG. Whenever you are using some audio, so to define and when we are defining its source, so its type is also kind of mandatory to define, so that it can define that which kind of audio we are going to use. So whenever you will click on this play button, this audio will be played. Because of it don't have, I guess, much sound, that's why it is not showing. Let me check if it is. Let me say it is a kind of forced voice, and this is being played. So these controls, like to increase the volume or to play all this, so it is coming with the help of this control. If we are not going to use it, these control won't be there. Let's check. You can check that if I have removed the controls, so those controls were not present there. So it is mandatory. You define that attribute of the audio, only that after it will display you. Clear? Now let's see, there are some other attributes of this audio that we can apply. So this source, I guess this one is clear. We have already seen how we can add the audio in our web page. So basically it contains the URL of the audio file. Then controls, basically it displays the controls on the web page to manage our audio. That means to increase or decrease the volume of our audio, or whenever we want to play it. Then there is one more attribute, that is autoplay. So what does it do? Whenever we are using this autoplay, and whenever your page is being loaded, so loaded means when you refresh your page, so it loaded first time. So you just see it is not being played, but it is being played automatically. So this is what your autoplay does. So whenever you will refresh your page, it will run your audio again. That means you don't need to play it over here. It will play for you automatically. And there is another one, that is loop. So what does this loop do? So when you run it and when your audio gets finished, it will automatically run your audio again. That means whenever this audio file or audio, we can say this is the kind of duration of an audio file. Whenever it will be completed, so it will play it again. Let's see. It is playing automatically again and again. I have used this autoplay, but I want to use it. So in that case, what will happen? You have to play it. Now it won't start automatically. Once I will play it, it won't start. The reason we are using this solution. Yeah. So these are the attributes that you can do. So this is how you can add the audio, and these are the attributes that you can apply based on your requirement. Now we have the next one is video. How you can add a video on your web pages. So it is same as like we are adding the audio file. So over here the difference would be there would be a video tag, and the format that would be allowed like .mp4, .webm, .ogg, and etc. There are some other format as well. So those other formats are also applied. So these three attributes we have already seen in the audio file. The same they have the functionality for the video as well. While we have these two new attributes, that is height or width, so that we can set. Let's see an example first for the video. So here is one video. Okay, and they have shown us a width. They have already set it. Let me fix it to somewhere around 500, and let's provide its height as well. Okay, height equals to 300. And if I run it again, so you can check the height has been increased and the width has also been increased. The source is already there, and if we apply this autoplay and if I run it, so you can check now my video is getting played automatically. I don't need to it started to play it again. It would be played automatically. The same you can try with the loop as well. And if I run it, let's check the video is getting played. And you can see it is getting played again. I'm not playing it again. With the help of loop, it would be continuously playing until the space is active. Let's keep only the controls and going to autoplay. So this is how you can add the audio file or video on your web pages. So basically, if you add some audios and videos, so that may kind of make interest the users in your website that what are the different functionalities you have. So with the help of audios, you can provide the introduction to your website. You can record an audio and just add on to your web page and then can play it automatically. So whenever is someone is visiting your website, he might get impressed that okay, this is how your website would work or what your website is all about. Now let's see our next topic, that is frames. So in a frame, basically what does this frames do? It helps the user to divide a web page into number of rectangular segments for different purposes. So basically, what happens whenever you are creating a web page which looks like this? Suppose you want to display some of the functionalities in this particular area and some of the functionalities separately in this area, and these are the four sections. Let's say you want to show some functionality over here, some of them over here, some of them over here, and they all of them should work independently. So what you can do is you can use this frame. Earlier in HTML version till 4, we used to use a frame set tag. Inside that, we used to define the frame. Then we provided source. In the source, basically whatever the web page you are using or some web. So earlier it used to be this, but in a HTML5, we use it with the help of iframe. Clear? Now when you are creating independent, so it allows you to multiple HTML documents that can be presented on independent videos within a browser. That means on your same page you can run four different websites, or you can run the four different web pages on the same page. So this is how you can do with the help of iframe tag. So this iframe like this one. Okay, this is an anchor tag, so we can just skip. So how you can add the anchor on your this is there are some CSS properties for your iframe tag that you can use while creating the inline frame with or without border. Let's first check how this iframe will be added on our web page. So you can see there is this iframe attribute, sorry, iframe tag. This is our tag, and we have to provide its source. That means whatever the website we want to run it, or whatever the web page we want to access, we will provide the URL of that over here. And then we can also provide a title to our iframe if you want to. So over here you can see if I click over here, it won't change my reload row. I mean, it won't reload your whole page. It is just affecting in this particular web page. Okay. Now let's create some more iframes that will help you to understand how it is working or how this independent is working. Let's run this one. So now you can see there are two iframes. Okay. This one is what this is your our first iframe. and this one is our second iframe. Now let's check. If I go to this one and let's say I click the link, so you can check that this page has been reloaded with some other information while this is the same. So there is no change. That means now these are the two different pages on our single web page. That means it is just a single web page, and on this we are running these two different web pages. So with the help of iframe, you can do this. So the most general example of this you would find in your cricket match scoring website or some of the news websites that shows you the live updates. You have seen over there the information is getting changed only in a particular area while the rest of the web page is not getting refreshed. So that over there they must be using this iframe tool because it will help you to show a different information, or you can update that information on regular interval without refreshing the whole web page. Now we can set there are some properties that we can set. That means we can set the border, and the border would be like border width or the border style if you want to provide, or the border color. So we can provide all these CSS properties on our iframe. So let's set some of the and then check how it works. So the same thing, we will use the style attribute. In the style, we will provide, let's say, border, and the value is let's say 2. Let me run and check. So you can check that there is a border coming of this, and there is no. Let me put it something like in 3x. So you can check now over here there is no border, while over here we are getting the border. Clear? This is how your border works. While if you want to set border width, that also we can provide. So let's say we are providing border width. So border is a common property. While you can do it separately, like you can provide border width, you can provide border color. Border color would be the same. Either it would be in a hexadecimal, or you can provide something like this. You can check over here. Now we are getting a border color. So this is how you can set some of the properties on your iframe. Yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this session. Now let's move on to our exercise part. So over here some of the questions that we have learned so far in our HTML. Over here we have one question where the property you can specify the position of list item master. We have seen over there are 4 properties that we have studied in a list. Those were list style, starting with list style, and then we have type, we have position, and we have image, and the last one was simply list style. So based on this we can check that to specify the position we will use list style position. This would be the CSS property that we are going to use. Yeah. Then we have unordered list is also known as. So basically we have seen the unordered lists are the list that contains something like these symbols. That means either there would be filled square, or there would be polo circle, something like this. These are the basically symbols that we are using in our unordered list, and that's why these lists are called either unnumbered list or bulleted list. So we can check over here we don't have this number, this is incorrect, this one is, and this one is the right. Here now we have .webm is one of the supported file format for which file. We have seen uh, these were the today's topic, audio, frame, and video. And the .webm we have seen that it is basically for displaying your media on a web page, you can say. So this webm, and in audio we have seen there were format like .mp3, .ogg, and these were the formats. While in a video we have this .mp4, .ogg, and .webm. So this format belongs to your video. Then we have attribute of audio tag plays the audio file automatically when the web page is loaded. So whenever there is something, so we have seen that there is no attribute to start. There is no attribute like with the name auto, but there is an attribute which is autoplay. And this attribute plays your audio file whenever your web page is getting refreshed or getting loaded. So that means the answer would be autoplay. Then there is last in description list. This tag helps in describing each term or name. We have studied the description list that start with the DL. In the description list, first we define the definition term with the help of DT, and after our definition term, we define the description with the help of DD tag. So that means the answer would be DD, which is describing each item or name. So there is no such tag in DN in our definition list, while there is DL is defined our definition. So I hope these four questions are, or these five questions are clear to you. That means if you want to specify the position, then we will use list style position. While for unordered list, it is also known as bulleted list or unnumbered list. While .webm format is for videos, the attribute of audio that plays automatically whenever the web page is getting reloaded or refreshed, so that is autoplay attribute. And while in the description list, we use the DD tag to define all these definitions. So that's all. That's all for the HTML. So we have so far we have learned in HTML5 how we can create the list, how we can create tables, how we can create links, how we can create forms, how we can insert an image, audio, video, and text. So these are the all topics that we have covered in our HTML5 for class 8. And if you guys have any query related to these topics or any other topic to the HTML, please write us on our Learn Forward app, and you can post your queries, your feedback over there, and we will definitely going to answer on those questions and those things. I hope these all the topics are clear to you. We have seen there are three types of lists, that is ordered, unordered, and bulleted list. Ordered, unordered, and definition. I'm sorry, I guess I just renamed it. So these were the three lists that we have studied. We have seen how we can create the table, how we can create them, merge the different columns or different rows of a table. Then we have seen how we can create the user forms, so the forms that help us to gather information or to send those information if you want to save it or if you want to send somewhere, so that we can do with the help of forms. Then we have seen the links, how we can create them in HTML, and how we can either connect to our local web page or on our website, on the different websites that we can do. Then we have seen how we can use the images as a link or simply as a background images or a normal image on our web page. And then today we have learned how we can add the audio and video files on our web pages, and how we can create multiple segments, or you can say sections, with the help of frames on our web page. Those sections will work independently, and we don't and to update their information, we don't need to reload the whole web page again and again. We can directly go to the frame and we can click on the links over there, and only that particular portion will be get updated. So that's all for today's topic. I hope you people have enjoyed, and you people must have learned something in HTML5. Write to us. We are looking for your queries, questions, anything, and your suggestions, feedback regarding to the sessions that we are conducting on computers for class 8. See you in our next class, and thank you all. Thank you for the today.